Like a morning spring, in the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, sure the whole world's bright and gay. But when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away.
Hi, my name is Kelly Sullivan, and I am the granddaughter of Albert Sullivan, the youngest of the 5 Sullivan brothers. I'm also the proud sponsor of the second ship named after the boys, USS the Sullivans, DDG-68. I'm here today at the Grout Museum to honor the 80th anniversary of the sinking of the USS Juneau, where my grandfather and his brothers went down after the Battle of Guadalcanal with all of their shipmates. On the day, November 13th, we think of not just the 5 Sullivans, but all of the sailors who were killed that day. It's important for us to honor our veterans each and every day, not just on Veterans Day, but every day, to thank veterans and also their families for their ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for your service to our great country, and God bless America.
Dear Sirs, I am writing you in regards to a rumor going around that my 5 sons were killed in action in November. A mother from here came and told me she got a letter from her son, and he heard my 5 sons were killed. It is all over town now, and I'm so worried. My 5 sons joined the Navy together a year ago, January 3rd, 1942. They are on the cruiser USS Juneau. The last I heard from them was November 8th. That is, it was dated November 8th, U.S. Navy. Their names are George T., Francis H., Joseph E., Madison A., and Albert L. If it is so, please let me know the truth. I am to christen the USS Tuwasa February 12th in Portland, Oregon. If anything has happened to my 5 sons, I will still christen the ship, as it was their wish that I do so. I hated to bother you, but it has worried me so that I wanted to know if it was true. So please tell me. It was hard to give 5 sons all at once to the Navy, but I am proud of my boys that they can serve and help protect their country. George and Francis served 4 years on the USS Heavy, and I had the pleasure to go aboard their ship in 1937. I am so happy the Navy has bestowed the honor on me to christen the USS Tuwasa. My husband and daughter are going to Portland with me. I remain, sincerely, Mrs. Alita Sullivan, 98 Adams Street, Waterloo, Iowa.
The USS Juneau was engaged in heavy fighting during the Battle of Guadalcanal in the Pacific during World War II. After a fierce battle, it and other U.S. ships headed to a nearby port for resupply and repair. The Juneau had already been hit by a Japanese torpedo and lost 19 men. The ship limped toward open water when it was hit by another torpedo. This one scored a direct hit on the ship's magazine, causing a terrific explosion that nearly disintegrated the vessel. Of the approximate 700 men on board, most died instantly in the explosion. Only a little more than 100 were thrown into the sea, injured, but still alive. My uncle was inside a gunner's turret with other sailors. All were killed instantly in the blast except him. The turret quickly filled with water, but he was able to escape and ascend to the surface. Covered in oil, he could see no remains of the Juneau, only smoke and bodies, some living and many not. He climbed aboard the life raft, and soon others joined him. They were surrounded by terrible sights and an empty ocean. They could not even recognize each other as everyone was covered in oil from head to toe. This was the beginning of 8 days lost at sea. Over those next 8 days, he would witness over 100 survivors dwindle down to just a handful. Day after day, more men were lost to the vast, unforgiving waters of the Pacific. But still, he and a few others clung to life. On that final day at sea, they were spotted by a Navy PBY plane flying above. While the plane was capable of a waterborne landing, the pilots had orders not to land in the open sea. So, the crew dropped a package with supplies and a note of pending rescue. The package landed approximately 50 feet away from the raft. The current was not working to their favor and quickly began to pull the precious supplies further out to sea. The men sat quietly in the moment's defeat while my uncle pondered his next action. He watched the sharks circle the raft and weighed the risks. Then, he stretched out his arm, shook the other men's hands, asking that they tell his parents what had happened here today. One of the men handed my uncle his Bowie knife. He took it and slipped quietly into the water. My uncle would say that every second felt like an eternity, and those 50 feet seemed like a mile. He anticipated being attacked and kept expecting a shark's jaws to clamp around him at any moment. But nothing happened until he reached the package. As he swam back, he saw multiple sharks headed his way. While clutching the precious cargo, he took the knife and slashed wildly at the beasts. He felt the knife make contact and could hear the yells of encouragement from the men in the raft. Miraculously, he wounded one of the sharks, and the others were scared off. My uncle swam frantically and was finally pulled back inside the raft. 700 men served on the USS Juneau. 10 were rescued. My uncle went on to live a full and happy life, but he never forgot the terror and courage of those 8 days lost at sea.
My dear Mr. and Mrs. Sullivan, the knowledge that your 5 gallant sons are missing in action against the enemy inspires me to write you this personal message. I realize full well there's little I can say to assuage your grief. As Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I want you to know that the entire nation shares in your sorrow. I offer you the condolences and the gratitude of our country. We who remain to carry on the fight must maintain spirit in the knowledge that such sacrifice is not in vain. The Navy Department has informed me of the expressed desire of your sons, George Thomas, Francis Henry, Joseph Eugene, Madison Abel, and Albert Leo, to serve in the same ship. I am sure that we all take heart in the knowledge that they fought side by side. As one of your sons wrote, "We will make a team together that can't be beat." It is this spirit which in the end must triumph. Last March, you, Mrs. Sullivan, were designated to sponsor a ship of the Navy in recognition of your patriotism and that of your sons. I understand that you are now even more determined to carry on as sponsor. This evidence of unselfishness and of courage serves as a real inspiration for me, as I am sure it will for all Americans. Such acts of faith and fortitude in the face of tragedy convince me of the indomitable spirit and will of our people. I send you my deepest sympathy in your hour of trial, and I pray that in Almighty God you will find the comfort and help that only He can bring. Very sincerely yours, signed, Franklin D. Roosevelt.